As you've seen, time doesn't operate as is generally thought. It wants to happen. It takes time to harden. The timeline is unclear on occasion, constantly in flux.
Yeah, time travel could be a complicated thing, as shown in DC's new TV series Legends of Tomorrow. Rip Hunter was, in the original comic, more an all-American, friendly, normal guy who just happened to invent a time machine. And he and his girlfriend and his friend and the brother of his girlfriend, they jumped back and forth in the timeline, without a second thought about maybe potential dangers of changing the timeline. They talked to important people, Alexander the Great, for an example, and the old Romans, and some people thought there were aliens and so on, and clearly this had to have an effect on the timeline, but it hasn't. They always return to the present without having changed anything. To be honest, the first thing I would do if I had a time vessel would be to visit the age of the dinosaurs as well. And that's clearly the first thing Rip and his friends did. The story is drawn by Ruben Moreira. Really nice, classic stuff, and I like these cheap showcase editions just because of that. You get a really fat bunch of original black and white art, and it looks quite amazing, I think. Why they have always to print Showcase presents Rip Hunter Time Master on every page, I don't get it, because if I have this book in my hand, clearly I know what I'm having in my hand. I can't tell you how much this annoys me in the long run. Don't know how they even think about it. What's the use of that? Anyhow, yeah. First story drawn by Ruben Moreira, but we have other classic artists. And this story here is drawn by Joe Kubert. You can predict how all the stuff ends, and there's really not much to it. But the more so, you can enjoy the really great art by Joe Kubert. Yeah, that's pretty great. After Joe Kubert, Ross Andrew took over the pencil. I don't know why Jack Miller felt the need to throw magic elements or monsters into the stories, because I think time travel will give you so many opportunities as a storyteller that you don't have to use this stuff. Yeah, somehow these stories are really funny, how in the way they mix past and future, and yeah. I guess if you feel the need to read all your comics from the first to the last word, maybe it's a bit too much time you have to invest here. But really, it's not necessary, I think. Maybe the most elegant version of Rip Hunter and his pals was drawn by Nick Cardy. Here he has to fight some Babylonian, I guess, birdman. Yeah, pretty silly story, again. But Nick Cardy is really, if you like classic comic art, he's one of the greatest ones, I think. I wonder how the colored versions may look, but I'm pretty sure that I would like these versions in black and white clearly more. The last issues in this collection were drawn by Bill Ailey, and they're a bit rougher. They don't have this beauty that Nick Cardy is able to give his characters, but still well-drawn comics. There are even 1 or 2 issues in this collection that were drawn by Mr. Alex Toth. And you see his use of black and white is quite unique and distinct from the others. More black and more tothy style. And somehow it's amazing that these simple stories are graced with such amazing complex art. Maybe I forgot to mention Mike Sikorsky, who did this 60s swinging art stuff I like very much since I've read his Wonder Woman series. It's about Atlantis, here what Mike Sikorsky did, and somehow dragons, because Atlantis only wasn't enough for Jack Miller, as it seems. And there are aliens as well, because Atlantis clearly was an alien operation. You know it, yeah, the aliens. So overall, this collection contains clearly not the best comics in the world, but some of the better art and some of the best artists you can find. And this all in black and white, like in many showcase editions. And I think for those of you who want to explore some corners of the Silver Age, this is the way to go, maybe. I'm curious what they will reprint or recollect in volume number 2. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.